What's up, guys? Alright, so Summer Games Fest has concluded, and now all the news has been winding down. So Sonic news has slowed down as well. But in exactly a week from now will be Sonic's birthday. So next week we can expect to get both Sonic Origins Plus and Sonic Frontiers DLC. Now, someone told me that we were going to get a Sonic Frontiers DLC, the Wave 2 or Update 2 trailer this week. But I think we're going to get that next week, especially that it's not going to be as big as like Update 3. Expect to get all of that next week. So a lot of stuff are going to happen next week, actually. And I hope Update 2 of Frontiers DLC will be as good as the Update 1. I'm not expecting anything huge, but judging from the template they gave to us last year, I hope that this one will also be an improvement in the game itself. And so we're going to get a lot of Sonic action next week. And so there's some things I want to cover. Extra news, which is like post SGF or post Summer Games Fest. So let's get straight to that. But before I do, be sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's see if we can get to 100,000 subscribers this year. All right, so for the first time ever, Super Amy has been revealed, officially revealed, Sonic Origins Plus. I won't call it official actually because it's a random Twitter user that posted the picture, so it could be leaks. But here are some screenshots of Super Amy. Now, as you can see, she's pretty much just a glowy color of Super Amy. She doesn't have a particular original super form like Super Sonic. So nobody should be surprised because this goes in the same line as Super Knuckles, even Hyper Knuckles, Super Tails if you remove the flicky army of death, and also like Super Mighty and Super Ray in Sonic Mania. So yeah, Sonic is the only one that's like allowed to have an original super form, as well as Shadow and Silver. I don't make the rules, so I'm totally not surprised about that. And one person said that it feels like her glowing is because realistically, because of Origins making Super more consistent, you'd have to make new sprites for Super Amy for like every frame, save for spinning. I can see that being a time budget issue easily. So I'm not sure about it being a time and budget issue. I just think that Amy wasn't going to get an original super form simply because she's in Hedgehog like Sonic. That doesn't make any sense, and it's just like that video I made a couple months ago saying Super Amy doesn't matter. I was talking about super states and super forms. Amy has a super state because she's collected all the Chaos Emeralds, so she's in her super state form, but she doesn't have a super form, if you know what I mean. So I'm totally okay with that. Anyone that was expecting more than that, I don't know, you were expecting too much, especially the fact that Amy will have one, but Knuckles and Tails don't. That'll be weird. But anyway, so there you have it. Now, I also want to clarify this a bit. I think in a previous video or two, I talked about there being online multiplayer for Sonic Superstars battle mode. There is a battle mode in it. It's not related to the main campaign of the game. The main campaign is local co-op, but there's going to be a battle mode too. Sonic Lost World 3DS, there's a battle mode or Versus, or even Sonic Generations on the 3DS, stuff like that. But who knows, Sega could possibly change their minds and make the co-op, the local co-op, into online. Because after all, Super Mario 3D World, when it was ported for the Switch, they made it online multiplayer. I almost forgot that it was online multiplayer. I don't know why I was thinking it was local co-op just like it was on the Wii U. But then I forgot I played Champions Road with my friend who lives all the way in California. I remember we tried to beat Champions Road, but we couldn't because there was a slight lag. But the thing with Super Mario 3D World, when you play online multiplayer, you can only play it with your friends for online multiplayer. You can't play it with random users online. So that's why I completely forgot that there was online multiplayer, because there's not many friends I have on my Switch that own the game Super Mario 3D World. So yeah, that's why it felt like it was still local co-op. And now let's talk about this. Now, a lot of people have been spreading the rumor that, oh, Iizuka's planning on making a new Shadow the Hedgehog game. And it's like, no guys, that is not what's going on here. It was an interview of Iizuka on Shaq News. So Tails channel also repeated. They said, to clarify, Iizuka acknowledged that he's interested to feature Shadow in a new game in the future, but he did not confirm official plans of a new Shadow game in the works, contrary to interpretations made by a fan site's transcription. So it's like, yeah guys, we're not getting a Shadow the Hedgehog 2. That would be quite random, don't you think? Iizuka was just clarifying on why Shadow isn't in Sonic Superstars. I don't even know why some people are asking for Shadow or Blaze to be in Superstars. They're not classic characters. And Sega is starting to pay more attention to the lore, the timeline, the chronology of Sonic. Shadow was still in his capsule at that point. Shadow is not part of the classic continuity of Sonic. You know, that's like asking Toriyama why Vegeta wasn't in the original Dragon Ball. That doesn't make sense. Vegeta was in Dragon Ball Z. Or that's like asking why isn't Lord Beerus, you know, or Whis in Dragon Ball Z. I mean, come on now, they're in Dragon Ball Super. So I'm glad that they're sticking to their guns and they're not going to put Shadow. I mean, there's always going to be mods. You can play whoever you want in mods. But yeah, I would much rather see more classic characters and superstars than Shadow and Blaze and all that. Now here's some news and notes of Sonic creator officer Takashi Iizuka's latest interview with Shack News. Now it said he intends to maintain and innovate on 3D and 2D Sonic the Hedgehog branches. So he wants to continue with 3D games, of course, and 2D games. I like that. I've always been asking Sega to do that and keep them separate. Don't have classic visiting modern and modern visiting classic anymore. I mean, Sonic is Sonic, but have both of them be their own things. If Mario can do this with its multiple spin-offs, you know, RPGs, party games, you know, its main series games, 2D games, Sonic can do the same thing too, you know? And then also says, Amy was chosen to be the 4th playable character in Sonic Superstars because Sega wanted a character that fans would enjoy. Or could that just be because it's Amy's 30th anniversary and you just want to show her some love? I mean, Amy has always been touted as the easy mode character since like Sonic Heroes, I think. She wasn't easy in Sonic Adventure because she was slow as balls and you always had to spam the jump just for her to go faster. But I don't know if she's easy mode in Superstar. She definitely looks fun. But yeah, I'm obviously start with Sonic first before I move on to the other characters. I'm gonna do Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, and then finally Amy. And then Iizuka also says no specific answer about Superstars getting DLC after launch. You know, this is how they always do. They never talk about DLC because they don't like talking about these things prematurely. They want to first see how the game sells. If it sells well, then they'll make DLC. Now, Frontiers DLC was a little bit different because a lot of the things were unfinished in Frontiers because they didn't have enough time. So a lot of the DLC we're getting in Frontiers were things that should have been in Frontiers from the beginning. But I can see Superstars getting a little DLC, you know, maybe a couple extra zones if it sells well. And I really believe it's going to sell well. And Iizuka was also asked about a potential Sonic Adventure 2 remake. He appreciates the title, but eager to develop new projects like Frontiers and Superstars instead. Now, Iizuka has always said this. He's always said that he's wanted to focus on the newer Sonic games more than going back in the past. But then at the same time, he'll always just candidly say that, you know, he's interested in remaking Sonic Adventure 1 or something like that. I do believe that now with Oshima back, they will definitely remake the Sonic Adventure games. They will pick that off from the shelves. Because remember, they were planning on doing the remakes years ago, but it was shelved. Just like how Superstars was shelved before being picked up again, I really feel like they're going to pick up the Adventure remakes again and work on them to release it. I really feel like we might get Adventure remake or remasters before Sonic Movie 3 comes out. That's going to sell like hotcakes. Why would you deny yourself that kind of money? A lot of these people, a lot of grown people now grew up on the Adventure games. That was their first game. First game was Sonic Adventure 2 Battles. So, you know, why would you deny them Adventure remakes? Like, why would you deny your wallets getting filled with fans purchasing the remakes? You know what I'm saying? And also, as Iizuka was talking more about how they developed the 3D style, art style of Sonic Superstars, you know, it being a 2.5D game. He said in the early stages of conceptualizing the new classic game, they considered replacing the sprite pixel graphics with fully drawn frame-by-frame animation, but the team felt that the 3D format would better preserve and convey many of the classic aspects that are important to the feel of this format. And then some people are like, we were robbed of a hand-drawn Sonic game. I know people were thinking about that fan game Sonic Freedom, and while that looks cool, you know how long that would take Sega to make? I mean, look at Cuphead, for example. That's a great looking game, but it took it's an indie game, but it took like 7 years for them to make, you know. I don't think Sega got that time to make a classic Sonic game and for it to be good. I totally preferred, well, I won't say I prefer, but I'm totally okay with the 3D art style of Sonic Superstars because it's like Sonic Generations, you know, and even Sonic 4 Episode 2. So I'm totally fine with that. Just perfect on it and make it look good. You know, it reminds everyone of the new Super Mario Brothers games. Would I like a hand-drawn Sonic game in the future? Sure, maybe as a one-off. You know, that would be a cool art style, but I know it's going to take Sega a long time. People think hand-drawn is easy. It's hard, you know. And also, back on the whole like Shadow not being playable in Sonic Superstars because that's a classic era Sonic game. To completely solidify now that Sonic Superstars was never meant to be a 2D modern Sonic game. Here's our first look at the newsletter exclusive Amy Rose skin for Sonic Superstars. Now, this was posted on Tails' channel. You see Amy here? Classic Amy wearing the modern Amy outfit, but she still looks like classic Amy. She doesn't look like modern Amy at all. So, since the Sonic characters, you know, the male characters don't wear clothes, we are not getting any 2D modern skins for Sonic Superstars. This pretty much solidifies it, you know, debunks all that the only thing we're going to get with Amy is this outfit, because, you know, some people prefer this outfit for Amy instead of her more classic clothes, because, I mean, Amy is mostly known for this outfit because she's worn it the longest throughout her existence. So yeah, we are not getting modern Sonic, modern Tails, or Knuckles, you know, in Sonic Superstars. 2D modern was never a thing. It was always going to be classic. So that's good to hear that we finally get that confirmation. Now, a public demo of Sonic Superstars is also being rumored. Tails channel says speculation is growing on social media about a publicly released demo of Sonic Superstars after 2 writers spotted a discrete demo version text in the game's intro screen at Summer Game Fest. It has yet to be officially corroborated by Sega. So yeah, this was found in the text in the game's intro. I hope that we have a demo, public demo. We've never had a public demo for a Sonic game in like forever. But I think that would be really good to really convince the naysayers that not only is Sonic Superstars going to be a good game, a solid game, but it's also going to emulate the physics of the classic Sonic games to a T and utilize the retro engine, because a lot of people are still in doubt. You know, I have a friend whose friend thinks that Superstars is going to be trash. It's going to be like as mid as Sonic 4, and he thinks that it's not going to be better than Sonic Mania. He actually really loves Sonic Mania, and he thinks it's not going to, you know, have the same physics. He just thinks that from just looking at it, despite Christian Whitehead, you know, approving it even once again. Like, it's even confirmed that after early speculation about physics accuracy in Sonic Superstars, developer Christian Whitehead tweeted that Sonic Mania's physics were fully translated into modern 3D in the upcoming Superstars. He intends to disclose more details when it's appropriate. So Christian Whitehead wouldn't lie. He wouldn't lie to try to gas up a game that he's not a part of. He never gassed up Sonic Frontiers. He was completely silent throughout that whole game's campaign, marketing campaign. So why would he lie about Superstars? You know what I mean? I think the only way to reassure everyone else is to have us play a demo. Just a demo of Speed Jungle and Bridge Island. Doesn't even have to be all the acts. Just so we can get a feel of the game. I think that would be very wise for Sega to do. It will also increase sales. Capcom does this all the time for the Resident Evil games, and last time I checked, Resident Evil 4 Remake sold really well. But yeah, before I go, there's one thing I want to talk about, the Knuckles show. Now, I haven't been that hyped for the Knuckles show ever since that synopsis about Wade, it being a Knuckles and Wade show, and, you know, I don't care about Wade. He's just a policeman sidekick of Tom the Cop. But when they announced the cast, the one person I was interested in was Christopher Lloyd. He's cast in the Knuckles show. Now, for those of you young Zoomers who may not know who Christopher Lloyd is, he was actually in the Back to the Future movies. Now, I haven't really watched Back to the Future in the longest time. The only one I watched was the first movie back when I was a little kid. I only saw it once. I should see it again. I should see the trilogy, but yeah, he's most known for being in the Back to the Future movies. Now, I think he might be cast as Gerald Robotnik, you know, Dr. Gerald Robotnik. That's just a speculation of mine, but that'll be cool, you know, because he did play a mad scientist in the Back to the Future movies. That'll be cool if they specifically casted him to be another mad doctor in the Sonic universe, you know, Sonic movie universe. I know that's typecasting, but I mean, how many decades ago was Back to the Future? Those movies came out in the 80s. So what do you guys think about all this? Let me know down in the comments below. But that's all I have for now. So what do you think about all this? What do you think about the whole Amy costume and the fact that there's not going to be any modern skins in Sonic Superstars? I mean, it's not confirmed by Sega, but from that picture we saw, it's pretty much confirmed. And also, what do you think about battle mode, online multiplayer versus local co-op, and also Super Amy and Origins? And also, do you think we're going to get a public demo of Superstars? But all right, that's all I have for now, guys. So take care. And until next time, I'm out.